Natalie McNeil, who has been in business for 38 years.
I wanted to own a hair salon. And where did that come from? Sitting on the steps in the stoop at my house in North Philadelphia. I had an auntie that had a salon at the corner of our block. I never worked in the salon, but I would always see these women and men coming out with their afros so neat and tight, blonde hair, red hair, lashes, makeup, their clothes, and these fancy cars. And I would just be sitting looking down saying, wow, one day I want to do that. I want to own a hair salon because I want to make sure that I'm having me a fancy car, I'm gonna have a house, I'm going on vacations. That started the seed in me of that's what I wanted to do. And that never left me.
How do you feel the education front has been for our industry?
Continued education, and continued education. So I have been taking classes and seminars since I graduated high school. Everything changes. It evolves. You have to learn the techniques because if you don't continue your education, you will get stunted in your growth. You won't be able to say, I've had the salon for 10, 20, 30 years and still have it be relevant. Right.
Welcome to the PPIA Impact Podcast, where real stories meet real success. We celebrate the transformative careers of entrepreneurs within the beauty industry. I'm your host, Hassan DeMarco. Together, we'll explore the journey of barbers, cosmetologists, makeup artists, and more who have defied the odds and achieved remarkable success. Get ready to experience the profound impact of their stories. Let's ignite your passion and unleash your potential here on the PPIA Impact Podcast. Well, hello and welcome into the PPIA Impact. And why is it an impact? Because we always talk about impactful discussions and have impactful leaders within our industry. So this week's episode is with Natalie McNeil, one of the members of PA Professional Image Alliance. And if you don't know, you are in for a pleasant surprise to find out about this organization, about Natalie, what she means to the organization. And trust me, there's going to be some gems that you can learn from this woman who has been in business for 38 years. Natalie, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I am excited to be a part of this, and if it's anything that has anything to do with cosmetology and hair salons, barbershops, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
That gets my juices flowing. Still, even after all of these years, I still have a love and a passion for it.
Yeah, that's so amazing. Me and Natalie go back a little bit. I used to cut her husband's hair for some years, and he played it down so low. He was like, yeah, my wife does hair. She does hair. And then when I found out who you were, I'm like, oh my God, you talking about somebody who does hair? Like, she's been doing hair longer than I have. So Natalie, we've always just seen you about buzzing within the area, Philadelphia, just doing many different things. And you are a hairstylist.
Thank you. Yeah. I love what I do. I'm always about mentoring other people, anything that I can do to help people to strengthen their businesses in our industry at all. Any information, people have my cell phone number. You can call me day or night, text me day or night. I'm always here and available to help.
And that's beautiful. Thank you for that. And we appreciate the work you've done. We're going to get into that about PPIA and your role there. But before we do, are there any socials or how can people look you up? They might even be on their phone looking you up while this podcast is on. Where can they find you?
Great. You can find me, my personal page, Natalie McNeil, and the salon page is Ends Hair Design. You can find us. We're on IG and Facebook and also Google. We have lots of great reviews and information on our Google sites also, so you can look us up there.
Yeah. So where's your salon located at?
We are located at 624 North Front Street down in the Northern Liberty section of the city. And we love it down there.
Yeah.
We do a diverse clientele. And that's what we've done since the inception of the salon. So for 38 years, we've always tried to choose areas that were diverse because hair is hair. Yeah. It doesn't matter what color, what texture. When you learn hair, you know how to do hair.
Yeah, definitely. And that's a great area of the city to be in. And I know you've seen so much change over down there, but I mean, it's just a beautiful area. If people not familiar, it's one of the areas that just has so much like culture. old architecture, really just the heart of the blue collar heart of Philadelphia.
And right on the waterfront. So little did I realize that a lot of the clients, since they've started doing a lot more building, doing a lot of high rise, luxury apartments and condos, my clients are starting to say, our view of the water is going away. They're building, we're used to looking, and me, I didn't even realize that the clients would sit in the chair or while they were wait and looking at the water, and they saying it was so relaxing. Yeah. And now they're noticing that view is going away. So some of them don't like it, but it's progress. I keep telling them it's progress, and it means more clientele, more, different things, services and everything in the area. So we're loving it.
It's definitely been gentrified. Sometimes that word is taking on a bad connotation, and it's like people use it sometimes, but I think it's just growth and development.
Growth and development, because I can say we've been at this location for 15 years.
Nice.
So 15 years ago when we came there,
it wasn't anything like it is now.
It was nothing like it was, and it was actually a little scary. But I liked it because I thought of all the art and the different things that they had in the area. But you weren't to be outside too late. We were like one of the only things in the area that was open past 6 p.m.
Yeah.
But now it is thriving and alive, and we're loving it.
Yeah. So you're forward thinking. That was forward thinking. And I think both your location, where you're at, I like what you said about just hair is just hair. You don't look at it culturally. I think both of those things kind of just show your personality a little bit.
Yeah.
And you're just at the heart. That's why I said a stylist. Like you're definitely about the people, about relationships, and truly are, a hairstylist. So really quick, in your salon, how many people work along with you?
So along with me, I have 3 other stylists. We have a couple assistants. Again, we work with a lot of different programs.
Okay.
And PPIA being one of the programs, we've started a new internship program, which I'm loving, because it allows a student to be in the environment with other stylists, learning all different techniques from different people. And because it's always a lot of different ways you can do anything. So a lot of times if you go to school, you may learn one way. But when you're actually in a salon environment with these internship programs, you get to learn from all the other people that are in the salon also. So you can pick up a technique. This one might work for you. That one might work for you. So whenever you go on their own, when they do get their license, they have all of these different ideas and all of these different techniques that you never know. Put them in your back pocket, your front pocket, your side pocket, and you pull them out.
Yep.
So whenever you go anywhere to work, anywhere in the world, actually, you're all prepared.
Yeah.
You won't be intimidated at all. You will be prepared to work on, again, any texture of hair. You're not worried about, I'm only used to working on this texture. We want you working on all textures, because as a cosmetologist, that's what we do.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, so guys listening in, I'm going to tease a little bit just so you guys know what's on the radar for our conversation. You'll definitely want to stay with us. Natalie is running a program from out of her salon where you can get your license for free. Okay, we're going to talk.
Say that again.
For free. All right, you don't have to spend that $20,000. You can get your license for free and learn how to be a diverse stylist. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk too about where your journey has taken you. Okay, because Natalie is, when you talk about the front lines, she's on the front lines, and she is teaching actively in a world famous for this area, world famous school that has gone back for decades, teaching and training young men and women about how to, be in our profession. But before we get there, I want to learn a little bit about your backstory, because we all know this Natalie McNeil, the established stylist and business owner. But how did you get that, first moment when you knew that this was your industry? How'd you come about?
First moment. So I probably knew at about 9 or 10 that I wanted to be a hairstylist. I wanted to own a hair salon. And where did that come from? Sitting on the steps and the stoop at my house in North Philadelphia. I had an auntie that had a salon at the corner of our block. And actually, the salon was called Natalie's.
Wow.
And actually, I'm named after that aunt.
Oh, so you're named? Okay.
I never worked in the salon, but I would always see these women and men coming out with their afros so neat and tight, and blonde hair, red hair, lashes, makeup, their clothes, and these fancy cars. And I would just be sitting looking down saying, wow, one day I want to do that. I want to own a hair salon because I want to make sure that I'm going to have me a fancy car. I'm going to have a house. I'm going on vacations. So that started the seed in me of that's what I wanted to do. And that never left me. It never left me. Even as I went to junior high school, they said, oh, you can go to Dobbins. Because again, I come from a family I'm one of 8. Okay. And I'm the only girl. So there was no money for going.
Oh, man, wait, 8 brothers? I mean, 7 brothers?
I had 7 brothers. And actually, they allowed me to practice on them when I was in cosmetology school. So facials, manicures, you could come in our house and see them in having all kinds of things done. Because I'm like, I need somebody to practice on, and they would let me. So, and my community was proud of me for going to school for cosmetology. They would see me going every morning with my little briefcase because we had a briefcase with our tools in it. And we actually had to wear white nursing uniforms every day. Yeah. And they had to be white from head to toe, your stockings, your shoes, everything. So professional they look. Yeah. So that's what I'd look like walking to school, to and fro school every single day. So they told me there was a program at Dobbins High School. Yeah. And I had never heard of it. I had to catch the bus to get there. So I wasn't used to, I used to walk into school. So they said you had to get good grades because you had to get an interview. You had to do an essay, you had to do an in-person interview, and you had to do a written. So I was like, okay, with everything that I have to do to get good grades and to be able to get chosen, because back then they had to choose you to come to the school. It wasn't a neighborhood school, so they actually had applicants. They might have interviewed a couple hundred students, but they may have only had 40 spots. Wow. And that was for 3 years. So that's what I did. I did good in school. I got good grades. I had great attendance. And I remember going to the school so nervous for my interviews and everything, and just hoping and praying that I would get in. And I did get in.
You got in. You nailed it. I got in. I like what you said, though, about your community. So your family, they gave you that support. You got these 7 brothers. They're guinea pigs. And I'm sure your aunt and your grandmother and mother and everybody was just proud of you. You know?
They were. And even the guys hanging on the corner, they all looked out for me. Yeah. Because they were like, there's little McNeil on her way to school, because they were like, she's going to become something. She's going to be something, because they saw me focused. And it just takes me back to the communities now when you see younger students, and which is why I give back to the high schools, the local high schools, Dobbins High School, Edison High School, and now Belmont Charter School, to help influence and encourage and help them to try and figure out what paths they may, and this path may be a good one for them.
Yeah, that's so true. Wow. That's a really beautiful journey, very unique. I like that. And again, Dobbins is a school located in North Philadelphia, Lehigh Avenue. But it was one of 2 that I knew of that had the program for cosmetology.
Yes, Bach in South Philadelphia did have the program, but they had to stop the program for some reason. And so Bach no longer is a high school at all. Okay. Whereas Dobbins is still thriving high school. So students now come from all over the city. They have to come from South Philly, North Philly, Northeast, wherever they're from, to go to this particular school. And their program is an amazing program. And they recently, in the last 5-6 years, they got a lot of funding. So they put back a lot of money redoing the actual barbering program and the cosmetology program to bring it to state of the art. Because when I would go there, it looked the same way it looked as when I attended the school 30 years ago. But now it has state of the art. So it's an amazing schools to actually, if you're interested in it, and not have to pay money back. So that's a big plus. Because when you go to beauty schools, you're paying $20,000 to $30,000 to attend beauty school, but you can also get this career path for free in our Philadelphia public school system, which is amazing.
Yeah, how about that? So this your experiences now come full circle, right?
Yes.
So you're this, look at McNeil go to school with the white uniform, getting on the bus in high school. You go into the industry. You've been in the industry now. We'll talk more about that, but it's been some 38 years you've been in business. Yeah. And now you're back at Dobbins teaching?
I'm back at Dobbins. So about the community and giving back. That was something which I always say my gift was given to me by God. He gave me my gift to help me to get out of my community and become a better person, and actually to give back to my community to help others. So that's why the skill that he gave me, that's what he gave me to do. Yeah. So what I'm supposed to do, and I must do, and I have to, and I love doing, is giving back. So me going back to the high school, encouraging the younger students now, it's all what I'm supposed to do and all what I love to do.
Yeah, we love that. So you're teaching at Dobbins.
Yes.
And what other schools?
I'm also on the advisory board at Edison High School, who has a cosmetology program also. And now I'm teaching at a Belmont Charter School, which is a charter school in West Philadelphia. Okay. So they have a cosmetology program. So I am teaching there, enlightening their students. So it's a great experience for me. Again, bridging younger and older, because while I'm teaching them, they're also teaching me. Mm-hmm. So trying to come together and have them understand why they need to incorporate some foundation and some skills that will actually take them through life. And they're teaching me about the newer things. And so we're trying to build that in between there so that we're both winning.
Yeah.
Because they have a lot that they have on their minds, and they have a lot of skills and techniques that they can teach. But now, and it's my job to help them to harness and tap into some entrepreneurship maybe, or whatever, because that's a big part of what I teach when I'm in these high schools, what you can do with this, how far you can go with this industry.
Yeah, that's really nice. I was going to use that word, and you said it, tap into. Like, you're helping them tap into who they are. And it's no surprise, like most inner city schools, here in the States, we all struggle from the same thing. There seems to be like a lack of funding. There's been a lot of programs that have closed down. And then when you're looking at the community, we know that there's the middle class now and lower and people who aren't making a little middle class living. Yeah. They're really struggling. Sometimes college isn't an option. Sometimes they don't have the support, or maybe they don't even see the vision for it. So it's really nice to see that some of these programs are still surviving.
Absolutely. That's why I think trades will always be important. Mm-hmm. And I noticed that now trades are becoming more in the forefront.
They are.
Whereas some schools dropped some of the trades, but now they're looking to add some trades back into, and that's why some of the other programs, other schools are adding these programs to their roster, along with the so adding the vocation to the regular education to help to keep the students enlightened and to help to keep them motivated. Yeah. Because this is also helping to motivate a lot of students, because it's not just book, but it's like, wow, I can actually do something, and maybe if I'm not going to be able to go to school, but I can have a career path.
Yes. Yeah. That is really nice that we get that. And it's nice to see too, even the charter schools have now started to add that back in. Mm-hmm. So thank you again. Just amazing work. I'm sure there's been a lot of really great conversations and a lot that you've learned there. But as we kind of move along, just kind of changing gears here a little bit. So when we talk about what your impact has been in the industry, we just kind of wanted to stop for a moment and get your views on education. Now, not just education for students, although it's great, but how do you feel the education front has been for our industry?
Continued education, and continued education. So I have been taking classes and seminars since I graduated high school. So all these years later, because everything changes, it evolves. So you have to learn the techniques, because if you don't continue your education, you will get stunted in your growth. You won't be able to have to say, I've had the salon for 10, 20, 30 years and still have it be relevant, right? So education and everything is changing, everything from makeup, hair, skin, the techniques. Now a lot of things that we do is much easier to do it than say when I started doing it 30 years ago, right? So that education and being able to educate each other, and I learn every day. So every day it's a new experience. That's why you have to always be open-minded if you want to grow in the industry. So I'm never going to stop learning. I'm never going to stop teaching.
Yeah. So all right. So I guess hopefully you won't mind because you've done the work over, the decades that you've been educating yourself. Yeah. What are some must do's for, someone listening in who, they're in their first 10 years of business or they're coming out, graduating high school, about to get into the industry? What has Natalie McNeil come across that you would recommend to others who are following?
So some of the things that, especially in our industry of cosmetology, that a lot of times stylists and owners do not focus on enough: healthcare, taxes, continued education, finances. Someone taught me long ago, and I listened to them. It was an elder. You're not always, even though we think that we're always going to be able to be healthy enough to do what we do. But a lot of times you won't if you don't have some of these things in place, right? So we have to get educated, and there are experts in these fields. So those are all a part of the progression of your business, is that you learn how to operate under the standards and also the rules and regulations of not only the State Board of Cosmetology, but also your city, state, and federal governments. Because we are a part of that, we pay into that, and our customers do also. So we have to know how the systems work.
Okay.
And they can work for the good, and they actually work better for you than we think. And a lot of the when I was a younger self or younger stylist, you don't understand how it's beneficial. You think you need to duck and dodge some of these institutional.
Yeah, that's very common.
Yeah, but you can't. And actually, it is set up where it can benefit you. You just have to have your business structured and set up so that you get to these benefits.
Yeah, that's true. That's a great way to kind of segue into the organization that you're also a part of.
Yeah.
So we haven't touched on it yet, but Natalie is also one of the founding members.
Members of the Pennsylvania Professional Image Alliance. Yeah. Something that I'm very proud of. How we got started was the need. COVID, it actually is how we actually met and started meeting. And because when COVID happened, shut down everything. They shut down the hair salons, the barbershops. We thought we were essential. Yeah. Of course we are, right? But we soon found out they did not consider us essential. Only our clients considered us essential.
Yes. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, so what we did was, okay, so now our salons are closed down. We can't get unemployment. There's no money set aside. People, what is pandemic unemployment? What are these things? A lot of our stylists and barbershop owners, we didn't even know what these things were. Yeah. We just knew we had no money. How are we going to pay our bills? How are we going to continue our salons? What's going to happen to our communities? And we were like, we're like essential parts of our communities. What is going to happen to our communities if there's no more hair salons and barbershops? Like, how are we going to feed our families? Like, we went into panic mode, right? Everyone went into panic mode. We were shocked, then panic, and now it's like we're fighters, right? So what do we have to do? How are we going to continue? So a few of us met and we started making, and most of us, we knew of each other, but some of us never met each other, but we knew of each other. So we got together. Everybody was like, we're going to meet at the Art Museum in Philadelphia, on the steps of the Art Museum. So word got around. Everybody started calling up people that they knew. We have to find out, figure, and fight for something that's going to help our businesses to stay open. How do we get funding? How are we going to get educated about what our next moves are and what is available from, like, again, we're paying into these systems. We're paying our taxes. We're paying these different things. So, but no one has educated us about how we can utilize these programs and systems and make it work for us. So us coming together as an organization That's what we did. That was our job. So that's what we did. We started making calls. We got the attention of the news, a lot of the news stations. So they were coming and interviewing us, and that made our voices bigger. So as one, you can make a noise, but as many, you can make a much louder noise, right? And usually what gets the help? The squeakiest wheel or the loudest ones, right?
Yep.
So we became the loudest voice for hair salons and barbershop owners. We exist. We are a part of the community. We are a vital part of the communities, and we need help. And so people started to listen.
Yeah, and listen, guys, they talk about squeaky wheels. They were loud. They were loud. I remember seeing, social media popped up. You guys on the art museum steps. You from the conception. You guys look like a well-oiled machine. And you had a message, and the message was loud and clear. We are essential. And if you don't think so, that's okay. But we need help. We need support. And we are organized, and we're ready to move.
And that was the whole part, organizing. And again, everyone put in, because again, most of the people were salon owners and business owners. So everybody has an opinion. We all know what we're doing. We know how to do it.
Yep.
But being organized and creating a cohesive group, which PPIA was able to accomplish, that's how you get it out. Because you speaking this one, speaking that one, speaking. No, we needed one voice. So we came together, got everything that we needed, and then we started having meetings. And then you started like, oh, I don't need to be a president. I don't need to be. But yes, these roles came to us. We didn't ask for them, but we just kind of had to step in them, and so that we could make the organization continue to move forward.
Yes. Yeah. And that was evident. Like that hard work, that was definitely a moment. It was a moment for our industry for a lot of different reasons. COVID definitely was a global pandemic, right? And it forced a lot of people to think about things differently.
Yeah.
But I think that by and large, our industry has always needed to be a little bit more unified. It has always needed, we needed to kind of erase those lines. And, it's like I got my shop, I'm in my shop doing my thing, and somebody could be 5 doors away. And, you
don't even know who they are.
You don't know who they are. You don't talk with them.
You don't talk with them.
And so I think it created a camaraderie. And it's been really good, on this side, sparking those conversations. PPIA still has regular meetings.
Oh, monthly
meetings,
bi-monthly, 2 or 3 times. When I leave here this evening, we have an in-person meeting tonight. So we have Zoom calls almost weekly.
Yep.
And all of it, but everything that we're doing is to enhance and encourage our other members, new members, in our industry. So what we continue to try to strengthen cosmetology and barbering as a profession, because that is exactly what we are. It is a life-sustaining, right, model if you do it correctly.
Yes.
And so that's what we want to continue, and what we try and do is what you mentioned earlier, the education, right? And actually the right and the wrong ways to do things, because there's always a right way and there's also wrong ways you can do, but we want everyone doing the thing the right way so you can have sustainability. So you can say 10, 20, 30 years from now, you still have your business. You still are able to support yourself and support your communities and support your families. That's what what we strive to do, to keep the professional and the professionalism.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. And it stands out. It stands out. You guys you're doing that. When we really kind of tune in even a little bit closer, I remember even having an interview with Ann Turner, and we mentioned there in that interview that sometimes people might look at the organization almost like a cash grab, like, oh, they are able to get hundreds of millions of dollars for beauty industry businesses, and that's the reason why I want to get close to PPIA. But to be honest, the organization offers far more than just monetary benefits. There's a calendar that you guys have every month. There's interaction.
More. Yes. Like even coming up for February, we have a couple things. We're going to be honoring Dr. Martin Luther King, our Day of Give Back. So that's something that some of the hair salons and barbershops are going to be doing. There's vouchers available for people to have a hair service done. And all they have to do is register, fill out a little form, and that's free to the community. Again, something to give back. In February, we're going to be doing our women's conference. And at our women's conference, we bring together people from all different industries that all to help to strengthen not only women, but it will strengthen men and families also.
Yeah.
So finance, knowing about taxes, knowing about different programs that the city has available that we don't utilize, but it's available for us. We'll be working with accountants, contracts, so city contracts. So a lot of times people don't understand that even in our industry, city contracts are available through the city with lots of monies available for you to actually utilize your business in these areas to get different city contracts, state contracts, federal contracts. So we're going to have people there speaking to people about those things also.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, so this women's conference is February 23rd. It's coming up.
Yes.
It's no charge. Normally, this event I hear is like a $7,500 charge. But they PPIA has found a sponsor to sponsor the event, so it's
Absolutely.
free. Right, a free event to come out. You can get different resources, and you can get connected with people, other businesses, as well as many resources.
Right.
Women's conference.
And one of the things that PPIA does that a lot, we're not just talk. So we have action behind the talk, and most of the talk you don't even hear. We just eventually you will see that we're having this, we're doing that, we're having something for the youth, we're having something for the men. We deal with health, we deal with mental health, we deal with physical challenges, all of these things, which every little bit morsel of education that we're getting is help to strengthen you.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, definitely. That's what I've been most pleasantly surprised about. One, the diversity of events. There's a lot of different events that you have. It's not the same repetitive event. I know we've been down to the Apple store and we got training from Apple. Now you have the women's conference. I mean, these are like miles apart in concept. Yeah. But then you have one that is really interesting to me is sensory training. And that's going to be with Dom from Hair Wizards. He has in the sensory part in training. Can you explain that a little bit?
Some people have like autism or their children or people in their family. So a lot of times different things are challenging for them. It could be noises, it could be light, it could be different things. So we're going to get trained by the professionals to learn how to, how we can recognize it and how we can help us to be mindful and how we can help others to still, yes, they want to come into the salons, they're going to get hair services and everything, but we want to be sensitive.
Yeah.
Right? Yes. So our sensitivity and to help them, because people are people and we all have different things that could, but I'm excited about it because this will be the first time that I've read about it over the years, but I've never actually been able to. So I'm very excited to actually be able to take this course and to share this information with others and to help add that to something else that we're doing, even in our hair salons and barbershops.
Mm-hmm. If you're listening in, just stay connected with PPIA. They have a Instagram. They have a website.
We're on Facebook.
Got a podcast.
And yes, we have a podcast now. So just keep your eyes and ears open and stay glued to, because if you're a person that wants to grow, and if you want to know more about the professional industry of cosmetology and barbering, then definitely it's a place that you will definitely want to be a part of. Because again, the organizing one-offs, individuals, yes, you can do things as individuals, but it's nothing better than doing them as a group. A group gets much more accomplished and much quicker than we can do individually.
Yes, definitely. So the hurdles have been taken off the course, guys. These events, by and large, are free. You can register easily. You can become a member of the organization very easily right from the website. And all of this is kind of laid out for barbers and stylists, which means that you're going to find that these events won't conflict with your work schedule. You're normally on days that we don't have to work, which is good because a lot of times there's hurdles to that. Hey, I'm in the salon, I'm working. How can I get to this event? Well, the events are on Zoom. They're in the evening, and the engagements are during days that we're not working on Sunday, Monday. So, this is definitely something that you should look into. No more excuses.
And we're not stuffy. It's like free flowing. Mm-hmm. So when you come to our events, there might be music, there might be photography going on, some food, maybe a little bit of wine sometimes. Mm-hmm. Yep. It's a fun, relaxing while you're going to learn, but you're also the environment, and lots of networking. So networking, again, the organization is also about networking because even as salon and barbershop owners, you can't do it alone. And you think you have a problem or issue, but guess what? It's probably 20 other people in this room that have those same problems, and we can all share our information and share how we're able to accomplish reaching these goals that we may have. PPIA.
Yep. Yeah. So, you know, we often talk with our guests. We love to learn about your background, your journey. We love to learn about what you're doing, and we've done that so far with our discussion today.
Yeah.
But I think a very unique thing about what you've done, Natalie, which really, you know, we tip our hats to you, because you've dedicated a lot of time to this industry. You have put in many years, and you're obviously still giving back. You're giving back in the school system. You're giving back with PPIA. But we can't help but notice that there's a lot on your plate. Like you're doing a lot there. So looking for some motivation, some inspiration for those listeners here who are also wearing many different hats, doing a lot of different things. What advice would you give, and what has been your key to success, being able to manage all of these different things and be so effective?
Organizing. So organize what you do. There's only so many hours in a day, but I'm an early riser, and I late. I'll go to bed late. So early, when it starts in the morning, usually I'm thinking about something. Of course, I'm going to start with, you know, my prayer and my devotionals, but then I'm lining up what it is that I'm going to do a day. But I think it's because I have such joy and love for what I do. I don't think of it as work. Like I can always say, I never really think about work as something bad. I just do hair, right? That's what I do. And even when I'm teaching, I have my calendar. Which schools am I at this week? Which schools am I at this day? What time? So again, organizing and being, just with the phones in our hands, it definitely helps with the organization, because you can tune into the day and see, what do I have to do at what times? And that kind of helps you a lot. But staying motivated it's not just about me. So what else am I doing today to help someone else, to feed into someone else? That brings joy to me. Yeah. So I just find organizing, and because I'm quick, I'll meet with someone and they'll say, and I'll be like, oh, call me up. I'll come talk to you. I'll come help you out. Yeah. Just, you can call me. I'll tell them, you can call me day or night. And people do. They'll text me day or night, and that's fine. I don't mind it, because again, I love it. I want to continue to strengthen the profession and the industry. That's my big thing.
You're a giver and you're an educator at heart. And that really says a lot. So maybe a bonus point for you. We look at this illustrious career. You know, your business has been established going on, 40 years. All right, you've been doing that. I mean, man, that's a lot there just to take that in. So, all right, so think about it from this perspective. Again, if you could just take a look at yourself, step away and look at yourself there. How have you been able to not become complacent and keep a level of professionalism, the level that you've kept? How have you been able to do that?
Before I even got into the business, owning my own salon, I did work for a couple salons. And one of the main things that I took from that, I learned the model I started as a shampoo assistant in that salon. And before I opened my own salon, I was an assistant manager. So I got to learn this business from the bottom to the top. And that's something that will continue to teach and preach about. You have to learn your skill. You'll have because at any moment I can step into any of those roles that I need to. Yeah. Right? And in businesses, if you can't, this one didn't come on, this didn't happen, that, then you're like, I have to cancel clients for the day, or I can't do this for the day. So the more you learn about your industry from the bottom to the top, then it's time, because it's not always time for you to just get out of school and open a business. And I remember my teachers telling me, you need to work under some salons for a couple years at least before you branch out on your own.
That was good advice.
And that was some great advice. And I understood exactly, as I got older and older in the industry, I understood exactly what they meant and why they taught me the things that they did. And actually, I absorbed them and remembered them. Because a lot of times people think, because you might have an older salon, that you don't, it's not you don't know the new things. So that's a part. Someone also taught me that you have to keep youth in your business also to grow. So you need to have your seniors in there, And you also need to have the newbies coming in because that will help you stay relevant.
Yeah.
Because what we were doing 30 years ago is not what we're doing even 20 years, 10 years ago. So figuring out how to have the mix of that and a combination of that in your business will definitely be beneficial and help it continue to grow and to go through decades. So when I think about it, I'm like flabbergasted at my own self that I've been in business for how long?
Proof is in the pudding.
It is.
You've done it. Those are just some great things to take away. Thank you, Natalie. You really gave us some insight. You've also just dedicated so much to this industry, and you're still giving back with those young minds there in school. 3 different schools, sitting on the board, acting as a teacher, working with public schools as well as charter schools.
Yes.
So the future is in good hands. We thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And we also, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I just really wanted to thank you again for the hard work you've done with PPIA.
Thank you. It has been my pleasure. PPIA is something that was supposed to happen. We don't like why it happened, but we're actually glad that it did happen because it brought us closer together and it also awakened our industry in Philadelphia, especially.
Yeah. We can see that.
Better together.
Yeah, absolutely. So we want to thank everyone again for tuning in. We want to encourage you to stay connected with PPIA Impact, not only for more cool podcasts like this one, but also for upcoming events, resources that can benefit you and your business here in Southeastern Pennsylvania or the state of Pennsylvania for that. So thank you again. This is the latest and newest edition of the PPIA Impact with Natalie McNeil.
Thank you.